Birds of the Month and Science Tidbit. So once again, these are birds that I found that I like the photographs, either because the bird was interesting or the photograph was interesting, and your taste may vary. But I like this common merganser because of the setting. It's taken by Carla Morris at Violet's Lock. And Vicki Bailey took this picture of a great blue heron, and I would suggest that you might want to look this up on eBird, Macaulay Library, because I think there's a series of them, and you can see it you can just imagine it just from this one shaking its neck, getting water off or something. But she's got a whole bunch of pictures, and it's almost like a series of this great blue heron doing this. This was at Hughes Hollow. Now, this is a picture I always wish I could have taken. This is American Woodcock by Stephen Davies at Blue Mash. How close were you? Great picture. Emily Wong took this picture of a field sparrow at Redgate Park. And again, it's just pretty. Bird's pretty, the setting's pretty. And I always have to put in wood ducks, because at least once a year, because they're so pretty. This is one by David at Kengar Pond. Can't see enough of them. Now, this is a ringneck pheasant that Roy Howard saw at Sycamore Landing Fields, and it's an exotic, but still it's a bird, and it was running wild, and it's cool to see. It's not advancing. Another picture by Stephen Davies. This is one of, I think you should make a book of birds in flight. And this is belted kingfisher flying overhead at Blue Mash. Something you don't usually see. Usually they're flying by you, and and you hear the click, click, click sound. This is another bird that I always like to see, even though I see him all the time. It's Eastern Towhees, picture on the left by Daniel Oberzert. And if I mispronounce your name, I'm very sorry. And Roy Howard on the right, one at Wheaton Regional and one at Muddy Branch. Another common bird, just coming back now, the tree swallow by Ann Mitek at Hughes Hollow. And I just like the composition, and the bird's pretty. So the black-crowned night herons have come back to roost at Lake Whetstone. This is one in flight by Carla Morris, and I like, you can see the nice red eye on it. Okay, now I'm going to do something a little different. These are, question is, would you eat these birds? So this is the hooded pitahui. It's found on the island of New Guinea, eastern Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea. It's known by the local New Guineans as the rubbish bird. And handling of the bird could lead to numbness, burning, sneezing upon contact with mucosal surfaces. So you probably would think, okay, I'm not going to eat this bird. and there's a good reason why you wouldn't want to. So in 1992, John Daly at NIH and his colleagues isolated extracts from different pitohui birds, 3 different species, and injected those extracts into mice. And they could get convulsions and death with very small doses from skin, feathers, and striated muscle. So another good reason not to eat that bird. And they found that it has a toxin called homobatrachotoxin. Well, how about this New Guinea species, either the blue-capped Iphrida or the rufous shrike thrush? They also have the same toxin. They also have a number of other related toxins. It's thought to be dietary in origin, probably from beetles of the genus Coryzine that are known to contain this toxin. Also found by the Daly lab at NIH. He was quite a chemist. Well, how about quail? Quail sounds good if you're not a vegetarian. This common quail, European quail, is found all over Europe and into Asia and Africa. But if you eat certain ones, if you're unlucky to have picked one that was eating the wrong poisonous plant, you can get something called coturnism, which is from the first name of the species. And you can get muscle tenderness, lysing of your red blood cells, of your muscle cells, so you get rhabdomyolysis. So I guess you're taking a chance unless you know it was farm raised. How about this guy? Spur-winged goose, found in Africa. It has a cantharidin toxin, probably, again, as a result of eating insects, this time blister beetles. It's not clear how many people actually suffer much from eating this, but topical application of this particular toxin can cause blistering. When ingested by humans, so somebody must have, the LD50 is around 0.5 milligrams per kilogram, with 10 milligrams being potentially fatal. And the reason why actually they know this has killed people is because it's been used by different societies as an aphrodisiac, as for certain skin conditions. It's still used. It's approved for certain skin conditions, but I would avoid ingesting it. Okay, rough grouse. Some of us have seen those. So they eat various plants like mountain laurel and various rhododendron species. There's a granotoxin. The structure is shown there. It's rarely fatal. They use these plants to make something called mad honey in Eurasia, and they ingest it for its mind-altering experiences, and I think also as an aphrodisiac. But so unless you're searching for that, then be careful. How about the brush bronzewing from Australia? I'm not exactly sure what happens if you eat this, but it's known to have monofluoroacetate, which or to eat plants plants that contain monofluoroacetate, which is converted to an active toxin called fluorocitrate. So be careful with that one. Then there's a red warbler found in Mexico. It has 2 unknown alkaloids in the feathers, which are thought to cause problems. And the Aztecs have described this bird as inedible. but I couldn't find any more recent information about what it actually does, but I would avoid eating this one too. So none of those birds I would eat. If you're not a vegetarian, maybe chicken, but so no species of bird is known to actively inject or produce venoms. There are a number of poisonous species that I just went through that get their toxins through dietary means. A couple others that it's not clear are the hoopoes and wood hoopoes from Africa, and they produce they have a symbiosis with a toxin-producing bacteria in their glands that produce oil for preening. So